Awesome. All right, guys, I'm here with Jane is it Erbacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Good work.
With Jane Erbacher, the ergometer master.
That's true.
Master trainer. Yeah, so you've been, well, I don't really know all of your history, but you've been working with like Concept 2 for a long time, haven't you? So you said earlier in the workshop that you've been in the fitness industry for how long?
25 years.
25 years. Yep. Amazing.
Yeah.
And when did you get into Concept 2? How did Erg Army start?
Awesome. So basically I love that you pronounce my name right as well, because most people look at it and go, what even is that? And something I do think is funny every single day is my surname is so similar to what I teach, which is crazy. But I only decided to specialise on the ergs in about 2015 because I owned a gym in Melbourne and I had no idea how to teach them. And so I started trying to source education for my members and for my coaches, and I realised there were rowers out there that know a lot about the rowing machine, but they didn't really speak to the fitness industry the way that I wanted them to. And so what I decided to do, what all great business owners do, is they sell their primary income, and I just decided to travel around the world and upskill. So I worked with as many coaches as I could in about 2 years. So it ranged from rowing coaches, and I even did like a rowing camp in New York, to strength and conditioning coaches, to Olympic lifting coaches, to absolutely everyone I could in the space to become the expert in this area.
Yeah, fantastic. So like on a business sense, you just took that plunge. You just packed up. And,
packed up.
This is me now.
Literally sold everything. Sold my car, sold my gym, sold everything. And it was funny because I didn't really have the foresight that it was going to become Erg Army. I thought what it was actually going to become was just, something that I knew more about, but I knew that I didn't want to be doing what I was doing anymore. So I took a massive leap of faith, and it's definitely paid off. It took some time to pay off, but it's paid off now because I get to travel all around the world and do this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're here in little old Adelaide. So like Adelaide's nothing special to me because I live here.
Yeah, I love Adelaide.
Yeah, Adelaide's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do love living here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's actually like really good.
Yeah.
So where's your favourite place that you ever went to, or the craziest story, or something like that? Like, where have you been training people how to erg stuff? Like, have you done it on the top of a mountain or what?
I actually have. Yeah. I'm like, have you seen that? So I think that one of the coolest stories I've got is when it was the end of 2017, and I'd only been doing this for about 6 months. And one of the things I did in the early stages of running workshops was I strategically built my network of gym owners. So what I did was a lot of different courses in the US that were aimed at gym owners. And the reason for that is because I wanted to meet people who I could then work with.
Networking is huge,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm big on networking.
It's so powerful, and I wasn't doing it in a disingenuine way. I genuinely was interested in people, but that's how I created kind of the next 2 years of work. And it happened in the US faster than it happened in Australia, and I thought that was really interesting because I think we have a culture here of being embarrassed by what we don't know rather than excited for what we could know. And whereas in the US, it's like the culture is very much, I want to be at the top of the game. I want to do absolutely everything I can to be the best I can. And I'm okay to be a student to get to that point. And so I found it really easy to run my business over in the US first. And something I ended up doing was I was invited to be a part of this big erg fundraiser in Colorado. And it was actually amazing. It was this organization called Protect Our Winters, and it's all about working against the effects of climate change. And so politically, I felt super aligned with these people. And then also they were doing something really cool, which was around the ergs. So we collaborated on this, and we decided to do a photo shoot where we took ergs up a mountain. So it was actually 9,000 feet, and we set up a drone and we set up the ergs literally on these rocks. And I remember at the time being like, this is not safe, but then being like, everyone else is doing it, I'm sure it's fine. And I still remember having to climb over these rocks, and we're 9,000 feet in the air, the altitude was insane. And I was like, oh well, if I die now, at least I'm doing something cool.
Doing what you want.
But I can't believe I did that. But yeah, that was probably one of the craziest things I've done. But I think the thing that makes me the most excited is I've worked in countries where English isn't their first language, and we've had somebody in the room who's translated the workshops. I had this moment recently in Paris. I've done it in Switzerland and Sweden and Paris, and it's crazy to me that I get to do this, like, and it's this kind of education and knowledge, and these kinds of people exist. It transcends borders. Like, it doesn't matter where I am. It is pretty funny though when they translate things slightly wrong. And I would actually say that most of these people have better English than most Australians. So they did not even need a translator. But it was so funny. Like, I remember we were doing a drill that was legs only, and everyone was doing it arms only, and I'm like, what has even happened? And it had been translated as arms only rather than legs only. So it was funny.
Awesome. And another good question maybe, what is your training philosophy like when you're training yourself? You know, you like prepped for high rocks to the max. Like, we've just been swapping stories about how you've been murdering people. Your doubles mixed. So what is your training philosophy?
Well, it's really interesting. So I was heavily impacted by this group that I was a part of in the kind of early 2010s called Gym Jones. And Gym Jones are based in Utah, and their whole training methodology is the mind is primary. And so the Gym Jones group are behind a lot of the Marvel characters, Henry Cavill, like all those kinds of like superheroes train the Jim Jones style, and it's very
like the actors, not the superheroes.
Exactly. So Superman goes to that gym.
Yeah, that's right. Thor goes and works.
Exactly. But like, it is a really interesting training methodology because it's all about your body will do what your mind tells it can or can't do. And I remember being exposed to this kind of 2010 and being like, that's how I feel about my training. Like, I've always believed that what I do in training transfers to the rest of my life. And so I was one of those people that I went to the gym to be better at what I did outside of the gym. And then I kind of changed my whole life because I realized how much confidence somebody can build from what they do. So I think that my training methodology is, I'm all about, whether it's for me or the people that I work with, I'm all about building somebody's belief in themselves and their understanding of what they're actually capable of, and when they see themselves in training doing the hard thing that they thought they couldn't do, it's like they get to walk out and do the same thing and in their approach to life. So my training philosophy for myself is very much like, show yourself what you're capable of, put yourself in a really uncomfortable position, generally be the slower person, like be the worst in the room full of excellent people and keep getting better. And one of the things I really like doing in High Rocks is pairing with people who are much better than me, because then I work so hard to prepare to be able to keep up with them. And that's how all of us get better. So I guess that's kind of my training methodology, is just surround myself with excellence and see if I can keep up.
As they say, pressure makes diamonds.
It does,
today,
I love a good little saying.
Analogies and cliche. I love a good cliche.
Same.
I mean, you reminded me then of something which was like, as you do one thing, you do all things.
All things, yeah.
So that resonated then before when you were talking about
it's
training.
So true though. Like, and I look at that with life, and like, it's like, if you stop early, or you don't show up, or you let others down, or you do all these things kind of in a training space, you're most likely doing it out there as well. And it's like, whereas when you stop doing that, like when you show up on time, where you see something through all the way, where you stay disciplined to a goal, it's like the ability that has to change absolutely everything about your life is amazing.
It's very true. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
This has been an amazing day, and thank you to the Yard at Norwood, who was a new gym at Norwood. So, fantastic. All right.
Thank you.
Cheers. Let's see you next time.
Yes,
we'll see you at High Rocks in Melbourne, maybe.
Yes, you will.
I'm going to try and make it there. All right. See you guys.
Thank you.